Hey guys, it's Will. It's Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thank you for finding me. I'm glad that you're here. If you feel like subscribing, give us a comment, thumbs up, all that fun stuff. That would be much appreciated. I'm going to try to get into this video immediately because I'm worried it's going to be really long. Okay, so if you watch this channel, you'll know that last year I was sent a gigantic box of movies by someone named Charles. Charles is a huge supporter of this channel. You will see him in the comments for most of the videos, and he is a very kind, thoughtful, just really all-around great person. We've exchanged emails before, we talk in the comments a lot, and he's just a very good human being. And I'm very happy to have met him through doing this channel. And last fall, I think it was last fall, maybe in the end of last summer, last fall, he sent me 55 movies in this gigantic box from the other side of the world. And he just sent me another gigantic box, which you can see. It doesn't even fit in the frame. Look how big this is. And it's my birthday this week. And so this is actually a birthday present to me, which is, honestly, whenever anyone sends me anything, I'm kind of surprised and extremely humbled and grateful. But the fact that someone would send me this much stuff and take the care to collect it all, find it all, buy it, put it in a box, send it to the other side of the world, it's just kind of astounding to me. And I don't even know how to thank someone appropriately for that much thoughtfulness and kindness. So I have not opened this box yet. I cut it open just so that I wouldn't be like struggling to open it while I was making a video, but I haven't looked inside of it yet. I'm opening it now for the first time, and I thought it would be fun. As you can see, I'm actually struggling to open it because it's so big and it's sitting on my desk and it like doesn't fit on the desk. So I have not looked at it, and I'm gonna open it now, and I'm gonna share it all with you as kind of like, since this is my birthday week and this is a birthday present to me, this is just kind of a fun birthday video. So huge shout out and enormous amount of gratitude to Charles for thinking to send me anything in the first place, and then to actually not just follow through with it, but to send this much stuff, which I'm really excited about. I'm gonna just start. There's a letter in here, and I don't like to read letters that people send me in videos because I don't know if they intend them to be just for me or for a wider audience. So I'd rather just respect people's privacy if they don't want, the whole world to know what they're writing to me. So I'm gonna open. They're actually packed in like these little bundles. I didn't see that. I saw there were spines there. I didn't look. So you're gonna go on this fun little journey with me. So I hope everyone's doing well. It's kind of rainy today in LA, which is really nice because that means it's not 50,000 degrees in the study. As you can see, I'm wearing a hoodie and I'm not sweating. I'm trying really hard to open this without looking at it. Should we cut this part? Is it boring listening to me struggle with bubble wrap? All right, here we go. Are you ready? Number one. What do we got? What do we got? I have to look at it because I can't from the angle I'm looking at it with, I can't see it. The reincarnation of the golden lotus. Is that Joey Wong? That looks like Joey Wong. Maybe not though. So Pan Jin Lian, the first adulteress of the ages, has a different body and soul, but she never forgets to take revenge. Overthrowing Meng Po Tang while crossing the Naihe Bridge, jumped into the unknown of reincarnation. This world is in the turmoil of the Cultural Revolution. The ballet leader Shan Yulian, played by Wang Zhujian, was brutally raped by the head of the ballet and sent to a rural shoe factory. The poor woman who only seeks a peaceful life but is tortured by fate is doomed to live her life alone. Wow, this sounds really intense. And honestly, I've never heard of this film. And it sounds like kind of a drama. So let me know what you think about it in the comments. That's a really interesting one to open first. I'm very curious about that film. What do we have next? Oh, baby, Our Times. I'm not familiar with this one either. This movie takes us on a 20-year journey through the life of the main character, Truly Lin. Looks like Andy Lau is on the back here. Seen mostly as a flashback to how her life ended up where she is now. We follow Truly back to her senior high school year and watch as she teams up with Tai Yu to break apart growing love between some rivals. Wow, okay. This looks really interesting. I'm unfamiliar with this movie too, but it does look like Andy Lau is on the back there, but I might be wrong about that. But judging by the cover, look, she's got a Game Boy and stuff. I'm guessing it takes place in the 1990s. Wait, hold on. This is Andy Lau right here. So is Andy Lau playing himself in this movie? Is she taking a selfie with him? I hope so. Okay, what else do we have? Gift from heaven. 3 colleagues at a Hong Kong corporation put in overtime at the office one night and stumble upon a bag filled with $10 million in cash. Ecstatic at their wealthy find, they took the money and began to concoct a safe plan to spend it. This sounds really fun. It's from 1989. And I'm guessing this is kind of a comedy, maybe with an element of thriller in it. Yeah, this sounds really fun. I'm excited for this one. Okay, what do we have next? I see Sean Lau here, Lost in Time. So I have heard of this movie before. This is the first one so far. Sue Y lost her fiancé, Ahman, in a car accident. With the obligations of life sitting heavy on her shoulders, she lives only to find herself confiding in her beloved through a phone call. Wow. Dai Fai, a minibus driver who witnessed Ahman's death, is always there offering her attentive encouragement and support. This sounds like a drama. This sounds really interesting, honestly, about like people dealing with trauma and like getting their lives back together. And that sounds really good. I'm really excited for this. And Sean Lau is like a fantastic actor. And I'm really interested in seeing him in drama films, because a lot of what I see him in are like thrillers and action movies. It would be interesting to see him really stretch his legs in a dramatic role. The Rise of a Legend. I have seen this movie before, but I don't own this movie, so this is really exciting. And honestly, I saw this movie quite a while ago. So this is Wong Fei-hung, I believe, right? It's like another retelling of that story. Yeah, so it's this movie is like maybe 5 or 10 years old. 8 years old. Yeah, so I must have seen this when it first came out, because it's been a long time since I saw it. And honestly, all I really remember is the opening scene. So this will be really fun to revisit. Sammo is in this movie, as you can see here. This was on Netflix for a bit in the US. I believe that's how I saw it. Okay. Red Cliff, baby. Hell yes. You know, this is a John Woo film. And we have Tony Leung and Takeshi Kaneshiro in it. And is this like the epic, massive... So there's multiple versions of this movie. And some of them are in 2 parts, some of them are one gigantic version, and then there's a heavily edited version that was released in the US. I don't know if it was released in other places. But the easiest version to find in the US is the much shorter version, and this is 286 minutes long. So that's like, what, 5 hours? So I think this is probably the full version, which I don't think I've seen. I think I've seen the edited down version, but I honestly don't remember. This movie's like 12 years old at this point, and I saw it like when it first came out. And I don't remember which version I saw. So that's really, really exciting. So I have to dig back in here. And here's one just sitting on top of the bundles. Shockwave 2. So this is, Andy Lau and Sean Lau. And I think Herman Yao directed this. Yeah, so he directed Untold Story and Ebola Syndrome and like Taxi Hunter. And those like Category 3 films. And that's like that's a sequel to Shockwave, which is just kind of like more of like a mainstream action film. But from this guy who's really famous for directing these really notorious Category 3 films. Finale in Blood. This looks amazing. Another film I haven't seen. Cheng, an attention-seeking no-hoper. That's a really cool expression. No-hoper. A no-hoper. I'm going to start calling people that. I'm such a no-hoper. Chen, an attention-seeking no-hoper who works at a radio station announcing food prices, but when his path crosses with that of Fong Yang's ghost, the telling of her story helps Cheng become a star presenter of a nightly serial. That's like one of the things I love about these Hong Kong movies is that there's like no rules for what a plot can be. This is a movie about a no-hoper who's a radio announcer announcing food prices, and then he meets a ghost who, like, I think it's, like, there's so much ingenuity that goes into just, like, the patterns of the narratives and the subject matter. And you never know what you're going to get. And this is something, obviously, I talked about on this channel before, and, like, Arna Venema has talked about it when I interview him, and, like, but just, like, the unpredictable nature of these films makes them so appealing. Okay, so I have not looked at what's over here. Tian Di. So that's Andy Lau, obviously, right there on the cover, right? And I'm guessing this is from the 90s, 1994. With a scholarship, Zhang Yipeng, played by Andy Lau, was given the opportunity to study in France. After returning from his studies, he was appointed as the first commissioner of Shanghai's anti-opium campaign. Under the influence of Western culture and values, he is very business-oriented. Just when he came to Shanghai with his wife, he embarked on a series of actions. So then there's some stuff. I think this is kind of like a historical drama about culture clashing and the Opium Wars and stuff like that, which sounds really great. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long too, so it's like a substantial film. And then again, like I said, I'm not familiar with this movie, but I'm just like, this is so cool because, you know, I know that I could be going on the DDD house or whatever and like spending a bunch of money getting these movies and stuff like that. But you know, like kind of the lifeblood of this channel is really Blu-ray reviews. Like they get the most views and they bring in the most people because I have the analytics to show that, right? And so I try to keep up with all the releases because that's obviously what people want to see. But my own personal interest is kind of tugging me towards like lesser known films and films that are outside of the genres I'm used to seeing just because I want to see as much as I can. So the fact that not only that Charles would think to send me something, but that you know, we've had conversations about this before, but like to be so thoughtful as to find movies that are not the usual stuff that I'm doing, that are not the movies that are super easy to find in the US and stuff like that. It's just so, I'm so happy right now. And I'm so like, my curiosity and my kind of intellectual and emotional love of Hong Kong cinema is really being sparked right now. I'm really excited about, I mean, well, we all know what this is, right? House of Flying Daggers, which I don't own this film, and I don't think I've seen this movie since it came out. I think I lived in Japan when this movie came out. Because I seem to remember watching it in Japan at some point. Shaolin, I have seen this one. This movie has been on Netflix in the US for like a decade. Like this is like one of those movies where like it never leaves Netflix, and I don't know why. But Andy Lau is in it, and it's about the Shaolin Temple, and I have seen this one. But again, I don't think I've seen this in 5 or 6 years, so this would be a fun one to go back and revisit. Yeah. Anyway, I'm okay. I have to stop and just get through this video. So we know who this is: Stephen Chow, The Unmatchable Match, and there's Michael Chan and Xing Fui-on, so I guess they're playing the bad guys in this movie. Ruthless Gangster Guts. His name is Guts. So good. Is Guts a no-hoper? I have to introduce all these phrases and stuff into my vernacular. Ruthless Gangster Guts pulls off a heist of diamonds, then enlists the aid of a longtime Triad member, Faye, to arrange a buyer for them. But when Guts double-crosses the buyer, Faye ends up with the diamonds, wanted by both the cops and Guts. So that just sounds like a classic crime movie where you got people coming from both directions and someone desperate to get out. And Stephen Chow looks very, very young in this movie. This is from what year? I'm trying to find the year on the back here. 1990. So this is a little bit after... you know, like he was in Final Justice, is that what it's called, with Danny Lee? And like, I think that was like 86, 87, 88, somewhere in there. And some other stuff in that era. But anyway, there you go. So let's see what this is. What do we have here? Saving Mr. Wu. This is another one that has been on and off of Netflix for a while in the US, and I've never watched it. But Andy Lau is in this movie. And so let's tell you what it's about. Saving Mr. Wu is an action-packed crime thriller based on the true story of China's famous celebrity kidnapping case. Wow. I'm not gonna. The description of this film on the back here feels like one of those descriptions where it tells you the entire story, not just a synopsis of the plot. So I don't want to spoil it for you. I'm kind of not looking that carefully because I don't want to spoil it for myself. But this is one of those movies where I see it around a lot, and I've been meaning to watch it, and I just kind of keep procrastinating, and now I can watch it on my own time without having to worry about whether it's on Netflix or not. Okay, so I have to open another little bundle for you here. Let me know in the comments, we're 13 minutes into this video, which one of these movies is your favorite of the ones that you've seen me open so far, and why? And which one should I watch first, and why? Okay. This is insane. There's still like 3 more of these bundles in here. I can't get over this. Okay, anyway, let's keep going. This is really cool. Look at this. It's got a slipcase that opens up. That's awesome. So this movie is called The Silent Forest, if you can see that there. And this is another one that I'm honestly unfamiliar with. And let me see what year this is from, because it looks more recent. But I might be totally wrong about that. I can't see a year like immediately on the back here. So I'm just going to read to you what this is about instead of getting bogged down and trying to find that detail. But a hearing-impaired teenager, Chong Cheng, transfers to a school for children with special needs. However, the world of the hearing-impaired doesn't seem quite quiet at all. When Chong witnesses a game taking place in the last row on the school bus, his excitement about blending into a new environment immediately turns to fear. Okay, he sees a girl he has a crush on get hurt. So this seems like it's kind of like an intense drama about people who are deaf and like kids who have like learning impairments and stuff like that. This sounds really interesting. It's Mandarin. I wonder if is it Taiwanese or is it? Well, it doesn't say that I can see. I mean, there's a lot of writing on the back here, right? I'm not going to read through all that because I don't want you to just sit here watching me read. But if you know more about that film, please do let me know. Okay, so what do we have here? Little Big Women. This is another one I'm totally unfamiliar with. And look at that. It's an other slipcase that opens up like that. On Shou Ying's 70th birthday, she learns that her long-lost husband, Bo Chang, has died. The worst is that there is an other woman who stayed with him until his last breath. A merry reunion turns into a wake, an unfortunately perfect time for the family to face their complicated mother-daughter relationship. Wow, this sounds really... I mean, like, again, like, I love dramas and, like, movies that are kind of more about character. And, well, maybe, like, I like a healthy balance between character and story. And these sound like movies that strike a balance like that. And the box is so big that there's no room for my arm, so I have to move it. Okay. 8 Tales of Gold, or tiles. I actually don't know how to pronounce that word, which is, the unit of what do you call it? Like when you watch the old movies and they're talking about, you can have this amount of gold. That's the unit. I don't know if that's actually the weight of the piece or if that's the monetary unit. I don't actually know. So if you know, drop it in the comments. The plot mainly describes... I love how informal the back is too. The plot mainly describes the smuggling into the United States for 16 years as long as the taxi driver Monkey to return to his hometown. Oh, okay. Yeah, this one is all kinds of confusing. But it looks like it's kind of a drama, but maybe a little bit of a comedy with Sammo Hung. So I'm excited about that because I love Sammo. Definitely going to watch that one as soon as I can. The Greatest Lover. No, this is not my autobiography. Starring Chow Yun-fat, Anita Mui, and Eric Sang. Directed by Clarence Falk. Look at Chow Yun-fat. I haven't seen this movie, but look, what is he holding? Is that a giant sandwich or a donut or something? Ooh, the rich businessman Shi Tao is not very attractive. He was teased by a beautiful lady lychee at a celebrity party. Hating and revenge. It just says hating and revenge to articulate his emotional state. By chance, he meets the forward hare from the mainland and the silly chicken. He took the opportunity. What's happening? Okay, I don't know what's going on there. I have to read that sentence again. By chance, he meets the forward hare from the mainland and the silly chicken. That's amazing. I hope he meets an actual giant forward-facing hairpiece and a very silly chicken. Woo! Oh, man, I love... So if you're unfamiliar with, like, if you don't buy, like, the DVDs from Hong Kong, like, I don't know how they're translated. I don't know, like, in this day and age, like, I honestly don't know. Do they just type up the description in Chinese and then put it in Google Translate and copy and paste? Like, I honestly don't know. But sometimes the translations are so funny. And they don't make a ton of sense. And that's definitely one that I don't totally understand. But obviously, Chow Yun-fat is in it. And it's produced by Raymond Chow and, like, Anita Mui. And, like, I'm 100% going to watch that movie as soon as I have the opportunity. But I'm not sure I know what it's about. Okay, so what do we have next? Wow, there's a fat stack of movies here. So these might be bootlegs. So Charles did forewarn me that some of the films in here are bootlegs. And he did say, I don't know if you want to open them in a video, because last time I did the video opening the stuff that he sent me, there were some bootlegs in there, and there was like some discussion of, do people like bootlegs? Do people not like bootlegs and stuff like that? And he's like, I don't know if you want to get into that in the comments with people and stuff like that. But in my mind, like the fact that someone would even think to send me all this stuff and would be so kind as to go around picking it up, that far outweighs, having to deal with people who are mad in the comments because I opened a bootleg in a video. You can feel free to leave your thoughts on bootlegs. I mean, my stance on bootlegs these days is if there's a legitimate copy of a movie, obviously I will try to get my hands on that and I will pay for it and I will support the people who are doing the remasters, and I highly encourage people to buy bootlegs. I highly encourage people not to buy bootlegs. Whoops! Someone's going to cut that out and just put it all over the internet. To buy, like, the legit copies of the movies. Give your money to 88 Films. Give it to Eureka. Give it to, Spectrum Films, The Vengeance Pact, which is TVP, this company out of Germany, Criterion Collection, anyone releasing these films. because it's not just about buying a physical object. It's about monetarily supporting people who are putting huge amounts of work into preserving these films through remastering them and creating new versions of them and stuff like that. And I think that's very, very, very important. And so, like, I don't think it's like morally reprehensible to watch a bootleg, but go and find the real versions of these films when they come out and buy them to support these companies so that the Arrow is another great example of a company who's doing these great restorations, right? So that they keep going. Okay, so Final Justice, I just mentioned this movie. This is a really, really good kind of like lesser known heroic bloodshed film. I've seen that film before. I actually have the Hong Kong Blu-ray of that film, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know if I've featured that on this channel before or not. I honestly can't remember. Oh, Justice My Foot. Yes, so this is a Johnny Tone movie with Stephen Chow and Anita Mui. And this was on Netflix in the US at some point, and I just didn't get around to watching it. I don't know if it's still on there. I kind of don't think it is, but it might be. But so I'm really excited to watch this one because I really don't know a ton about like the Stephen Chow stuff other than the really, really famous ones. Those are like the only ones I've seen. So I'm really excited to see more. This movie sounds fascinating. I've never heard of this film before. It's called Papa, Can You Hear Me Sing? A speech-impaired and poor army veteran in Taiwan adopts a daughter who later leaves him to enter show business. Her departure leaves the veteran in a state of depression, and she meant the entire world to him. Fame has gotten the best of the girl, who later shuns her father and friends. That sounds really interesting. And like I said, I'm just really interested in seeing these dramas. Oh, yeah. Peking Opera Blues. Yes, very excited for this one. So I almost reviewed this on the channel, and I didn't. And so I'm very excited to rewatch that film and to be able to cover it on the channel and stuff like that. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. Robin B. Hood, baby. I don't remember the last time I saw this. It was probably around when it came out. This is a Jackie Chan movie, as you know. As you can see him on the cover there, and Louis Koo, and a whole other cast of characters who you will recognize from all of these. So I'm just trying to see like the release. I think this was like early 2000s. But wow, it's 135 minutes. I don't remember this movie being this long at all. Now I'm wondering if I saw a truncated version of it. I thought this movie was like 90 minutes long. Wow, okay, that's really interesting. Okay, so Love is Love. This is produced by Dixon Poon, as you can see at the top there. Stephen Chow, Sandra Ng, Suki Kwan, and Xing Fui-on are in this film. And this looks kind of like a romantic drama comedy type film. Romantic dramedy? Is that what we can call it? Oh, Thunderbolt! Yes! I only have this on DVD, and it's the non-anamorphic DVD, actually. So I have never seen this film on like a good copy before. So I should totally review this. Okay, that's really exciting. What? Stop it. Pedicab Driver. Okay, so there was actually some discussion in my Facebook group recently about whether or not a proper HD version of this movie exists. And according to someone in the comments, there's somewhere in China there is a release of this film that is proper HD, and that there's footage of it that you can see somewhere online, and you can tell that it's not an upscale. I'm not an expert in like the upscale versus proper scan and like all that stuff. So I couldn't honestly tell you by looking at the footage whether or not, but I did see some of that footage. So I don't remember where I saw it, but I did see it. And so Charles actually sent me the DVD of this film in the last package he sent me. And this is one, Warner Brothers owns this one in the United States. And like so many people comment on my YouTube and in my Facebook group and on Instagram being like, when are they going to release that one? They released the two Jackie movies. They should keep going. They need to put up Pedicab Driver. It's such a classic. A lot of people think this is Sammo's best movie. Like this and Eastern Condors. And there's like a couple other Sammo films that always get kind of like tossed around as like they're like, oh, those are the best of the Sammo films. So now I will definitely review this movie on this channel. Lau Kar Lung is in this film, and yeah, this is really exciting. Okay, what else do we have here? A hearty response, and you know who that is, Chow Yun Fat. Joey was helped by a man, Wayne, who made money by shipping people from China to Hong Kong illegally. Since Wayne had bad intention on Joey, she ran away, but unfortunately Joey was hit by a car. Oh, wow. So then a plot unfolds thereafter. And I've actually never seen this film before. So I'm really, really excited to check this out. And a huge shout out to Charles for sending me that. And then we have, oh, no way. I was just talking to somebody about this. This is another one I've never seen. Painted Faces. So this is about the Peking Opera School that Sammo Hung, Yun Biu, Jackie Chan, Yun Hua, Corey Yun, like all those people went to. And Sammo, I believe, he plays like kind of the guy who was their teacher, but I'm also pretty sure he directed this movie. I hope I'm not wrong about that. I'm having trouble finding the information on the back here about the director. But that I was like literally like a week ago, I was talking to somebody about that film, and we were wondering whether it was going to get, because I think Spectrum might be putting that movie out on Blu-ray. Don't quote me on that. But we were talking about, I was talking with my friend via text about whether that movie was eventually going to get a packing tape, if you can hear that, a Blu-ray release from, you know, like Eureka or someone like that. So that's really, really exciting. And obviously, if it does get one of those releases, then I will pick that release up and I will show it off and review it for you on this channel. All right, so we got another big stack. This looks like DVDs here. And this is the final stack. So we're in the final countdown. Da-da-da-da. I'm surrounded by so many movies, I don't know where to put my hands down. Okay, here we go. What do we have here? Oh, Lee Rock. No way. So I've never seen this film. It's like, I feel like such an ignoramus because there's so many of these classic movies I've never seen. Because honestly, if you want to know why there are so many classic Hong Kong movies I've never seen, I just love movies so much that oftentimes what will happen is I remember the first time I read about this movie, I was like, oh, Andy Lau, and it's like this movie that's got this really great reputation. And I think they're actually the first two Lee Rock movies are in here. Lee Rock and Lee Rock 2. I was like, I gotta see those movies. And I went online and I poked around a bit for them. And I looked on like streaming services to see if there's anywhere I could rent it. And I couldn't find it. And I was like, well, okay. And then I found something else. And I was like, I'll watch this instead. So like my process tends to be like, I'll find a title and I'll really, really want to see it. And I'll do my best to look around. And if I can't find a copy of it that's not reasonably priced or that doesn't look like decent enough quality to be worth my time, I'll kind of just move on to the next thing. I'm not like super obsessive about tracking down titles and plowing through them. And I like so many movies from so many parts of the world that, you know, I'll get distracted by like, I don't know, I'll be like binging, you know, Hong Kong movies and I'll be like, oh, I haven't watched Fellini in a while. And then I'll just watch a bunch of Fellini movies and get distracted from it. So I tend to plow forward rather than getting stuck on something and being like, I'm going to find this. I have to see it. Unless it's a movie where I'm like, I feel like an idiot for not having seen it, you know, which does happen from time to time. But a lot of the times I'm just like, okay, I can't find this movie. I do really want to see it, but I'm just going to move on to the next thing. And then eventually, at some point, maybe the universe will put me in touch with that film and I'll be able to see it. So that's the story behind Lee Rock. And a lot of these other films where I'm like, I've never, like a hearty response to Chow Yun-fat film. About, maybe this is like 7 or 8 years ago at this point, I decided to try to see every single Chow Yun-fat film I had never seen. And I was buying a bunch of DVDs on eBay, and I bought some Hong Kong Blu-rays and like a whole bunch of stuff. But there were certain films where like when I got to them, like a hearty response, it's like $30. And again, this was years ago, so maybe like the price is different now, but it's like $30 to try to import it. And I'm like, there are other Chow Yun-fat films I hadn't seen. I'll just move on to the next one kind of thing. And then I just shifted what I was watching and I kind of forgot about it. So that's one of the reasons that there's a lot of films that okay, this is really exciting. Rouge. So this was just announced from Criterion, right? And now here I have the DVD, and I don't think I've ever seen a Stanley Kwan film. Well, as I said in my previous, so directed by Stanley Kwan, produced by Jackie Chan, Leslie Chung, and Needham Wait. I'm really, really excited for this. So here's what I'll do. If you're still watching 30 minutes into this video, let me know if you want me to review this before the Criterion release comes out, or I should just wait and review the Criterion release. And oh, no way, righting wrongs, hell yeah. So here we have Yun Biu, and here we have Cynthia Rothrock. And I don't think I've ever seen this version of this film before. I have the US DVD release of this film. This looks like a Hong Kong release. But it's not, I don't think it's like the super old non-anamorphic one. I think it's a more recent one than that. That's really exciting. Okay, so what do we have here? Oh, no way. Stop it. Stop. You know I love Ringo Lam. So Prison on Fire, digitally remastered too. This is Japanese down at the bottom here. Prison on Fire. That's what that says right there. And then Prison on Fire 2, which I don't own. I do not own Prison on Fire 2. I think I have a US DVD. I have a DVD release of this film, but I think it's non-anamorphic. It's like one of those really, really old releases that I got on eBay for like next to no money. So I see it's all Japanese on the back there. That's really exciting because, like I said, Prison on Fire 2, I do not own that movie. It's been years since I've seen that movie. So that's really exciting. Is this not even open? Oh, no, it is open. I was like, what? Come on, Swordman 2. Hell yeah. So, this is like an absolutely classic film. I'm sorry that the dog is barking. I don't know what she's upset about, but she's upset about something. So this is Jet Li, Bridget Lin, Michelle Reese, and Rosamund Kwan, and produced by Choi Hark, and directed by Ching Sui Tung, and yeah, that's amazing. And here, you want to see what the let's pop it out. So Charles did tell me that some of the stuff that's in here is stuff from his personal DVD collection that are like legit commercial copies, not bootlegs, that he decided to send to me. So that's really, really exciting. And as you know, this was released on Hong Kong Blu-ray, I believe, recently. But I don't know if there are plans for it to come out elsewhere in the world. But this is like, it's just like an absolutely classic film that was very influential too, from what I understand. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Oh, no way. Yes, Skinny Tiger and Fatty Dragon. Yes. So I love this movie from the Eureka Blu-ray release. And one of the things that we're trying to do with this channel is collect as many physical releases of the different films as we can to kind of show across as many mediums and years and decades as we can how the film was released and what it looked like in its different iterations and stuff like that. So this is really cool. And this is martial law. So this obviously came out after the TV show, which I think was 98, but I don't honestly know. But to see this is really cool with this like total early 90s artwork and stuff like that, presumably from the original release of the film. Casino Raiders 2. I don't have this one. I have the first Casino Raiders, which is somewhere on the bottom of this shelf next to me. You probably can't see it from the angle that I'm recording at now, but I have a ton of like old the Hong Kong DVDs down on like the bottom two shelves on this bookshelf here. Yeah, whoever have golden coin given by God of Gamblers can ask him for a favor. Old Fawn, who possesses one of the coins, was betrayed by his follower. Fawn's legs were broken when one of his followers was put in jail. Wow, drama. This is not one I've seen either. I have seen God of Gamblers, obviously, in Casino Raider, but directed by Johnny To. How did I not know that? See, I'm so ignorant. It's embarrassing. Here I am running this channel. I didn't even know that Johnny To directed Casino Raiders 2. And I'm not even going to make excuses for why, because I just didn't know that. Wow, look at this. Flirting Scholar from the Stephen Chow movie collection. Based on let's see if I can get some non-glare for you there. Based on a folk tale, Tong Pak Fu, played by Stephen Chow, was the famous scholar in Suzhou. On a feast day, Tong and his friends visited the temple, and there they met Chu Huang, played by Gong Li. Disguising himself as a houseboy, he indentured himself, I'm assuming is what that should say, to a rich family in order to pursue a ravishing servant girl who has stolen his heart. That sounds fun. I do like a good romance. Well, children, I believe that we have gotten to the bottom of the box. We have. This has been a marathon video. I'm kind of overwhelmed right now. I don't even know. Because usually what I do is I keep my Hong Kong movies in the study, but then I'll bring some into like the TV room and put in a stack for like, this is my pile that I'm going to try to watch like ASAP. And I don't even know where to begin with doing that right now. Look. There's this stack of movies. And I don't even know if I can get the other stack out from behind the camera here without knocking the camera over. There's these. Like, this is insane. Are you kidding me? Charles, you are far too kind. I am unworthy. I am extremely humbled right now. It's my birthday week. It's an amazing, gigantic haul of films that I'm so excited about. If there's anything in here that you want to see me review, like ASAP, let me know. That will help me kind of determine a path through watching these films. And I still have, I think I've watched like 10 of the ones that I got in the other box. So there's still like 45 of those to watch. I'm so bad. I need to just watch like 2 to 3 Hong Kong movies a day every day, and then I'll be fine. Okay, so my name is Will. This is Hong Kong Cinema Appreciation Society. As always, I do thank you so much for watching. Charles, you are far too kind, as I've said so many times in this video. We'll see you next time.